The world is a diverse and beautiful place. Have you ever wanted to travel the globe, exploring one exotic land, and waking up the next day somewhere completely different? Experiencing the nature, the people, the culture, the art, ancient and new. Come along with me. From ice to desert, from beaches to mountains, in the jungle, in the city, and everywhere in between. Soaking in the splendor Mother Earth and all her inhabitants have to show us. By air, by land, by sea, this is Around the World at the Speed of Mike.
Give me some candy! No, not sweets. If you take a bus south from Dambulla, you can head to Sri Lanka's cultural capital, Kandy. The top site is the Temple of the Tooth. It's basically a former royal palace complex that they turned into the housing of the relic of Guatama Buddha. You can see the actual tooth there, the supposed actual tooth. I don't know if that actually really is. I'm sure that's kind of shrouded in the great annals of history. But I skipped it. I'm sure you've noticed that a lot. I skip a lot of things. It just didn't seem super appealing. You get to a point sometimes where you've seen a lot of stuff, and you get templed out. That's kind of like a word, I guess. And I don't know. I just said, I don't really feel like seeing it, and that's okay. I'm going at the speed of Mike, and you can move at your own speed. You can see it or not see it. That's the fun of traveling. So. Right next to the Temple of the Tooth is the Kandy Lake House. There you can see free cultural shows, and they just kind of portray all the various different types of dancing and costume and stuff that they have in Sienese culture. If a hawker tries to take you there, just politely decline. They're probably just going to ask you for money, where you don't really need to give them any for any reason, because it's literally like right there. You just walk in. It's not too complicated. Another site is the Botanical Festival of the Tooth. It's a procession of elephants and dancers, basically combining the last two things I just mentioned. Other notable places are the International Buddha Museum. This is a place I actually did want to go to, but I didn't hear about it until after I left. You can see all the various types of Buddhas from around the world, like each country's interpretation of it. Another site is the Botanic Gardens and the surrounding agricultural departments. There you can see all the flowers and plants and crops. on the lake in Kandy is probably one of the better things to do. It's just nice and peaceful, and there's a lot of nature in it. Just fish, a lot of different birds, and monitor lizards. Also, there's decent hiking around at Udawatta Kele Forest Reserve, which is just up in the surrounding hills. Kandy was probably one of the cheaper places I've been to. I mean, everything was cheap, but Kandy, the hostel there was only $3. I paid everything in between that at the various locations, most expensive being $10 in Colombo. Food was really cheap all over Sri Lanka. It was the cheapest at the grocery store. Some of the stands and some of the restaurants are cheap, but obviously in the tourist areas it's going to be a little pricier. One of the main food items there is roti. Transportation-wise, nothing I used cost over $4. The buses and trains were between $2 and $4 from city to city. The single most expensive thing in Sri Lanka for me was the visa, which cost $50. Other than that, I spent 11 nights there and I only spent $150 the whole entire time. My Qatar air flight from Beirut to Doha to Colombo cost $202 US. So altogether, that brings us to 26 nights into our trip, and it costs $1,179 thus far. Up next, we're going to head to Malaysia. Hey, if you'd like to see more videos like that, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my videos around the world at the speed of Mike.